So this month I want to talk about how to win. Okay, my job is to help you guys win in this business, and I take my job very seriously. So before we talk about how to win, let's think about what does winning mean to you guys. Okay, so think about for you guys, winning, is it, just imagine if you're winning, okay? How much money you're making, how much is your bank account, what type of relationships you have, are they toxic? Okay, what type of health, how you feeling, how you looking. Okay, so imagine like what winning means to you. All right, so there's so many things you could do to win, but as a business owner too, I sometimes get lost with all the options. Like there's so much freedom of choice in this generation. It's like, okay, I could do this move, I could do this move. Like, what should I do to actually help me win? And sometimes all the options makes you not take any action because you don't know which one to choose. So how do you find out what to do to win? What do you guys think?
You try until you fail, and then you learn from your failure to succeed.
That's a good one. Keep trying, and then you find out if it doesn't work, then you keep trying different ones. Or if you lose, those are the best opportunities for you to learn. I love that one, generally. Anybody else? Yeah, keep learning, okay? One of the things that I've learned recently to find out what's the best move to do, to learn how to find out what I have to do, is to find out what not to do. Okay, because our brains, they're designed to survive, right? Because growing up, we face threats, so it's easier for us to come up with problems than solutions. So someone told you like, hey, what makes you happy, or what's something that's going really well for you? You're like, what are you grateful for? You're like, but then someone asks you like, hey, what problems are you facing today? You're like, oh, I have this, I have that, I have this, I have all these problems going on. Our brain is has naturally wired or programmed to find threats, and it's anxiety driven. So we're gonna use that to find the problems first. Okay, so how to lose? Okay, so what's the one move you'll make? Okay, if you had a relationship, what's the one move you'll make to make sure that relationship goes bad?
Cheat.
Okay. That's a deal breaker?
That's a huge
Okay. Okay, so what's the opposite of that then?
Having trust.
Having trust.
Yeah.
Okay. Having trust, or hooking up with your partner instead of somebody else. That's the move, the opposite move, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about health? What's the one move you could do? Okay, for sure, if I do this, then my health will get ruined.
Smoke.
Drink. Okay, just drink all day.
Food,
Right.
McDonald's and now. Sleep.
Okay. So you guys know what not to do, right? So you guys know what not to do. And then with money, we're going to talk about money too. You find out how to lose, and then you want to just do the exact opposite of that. Okay? And the shorter your list, that's how potent that move is. So how to lose in the insurance business. So what's something not to do? If you want to get fired immediately, what would you do? Not show up. Okay, that's a great one. Okay, that's a great one. So what's the opposite of that?
Show
Show up. Okay, it's that easy of a move. You think oh, how can I win in this insurance business? It's okay, let's start with that. What should I not do? And then you do exactly the opposite of that. Be coachable. Okay, we literally had somebody who came in the first day and said, "You're wasting your breath because I know how to do everything." So being uncoachable is an easy move if you think about it for things to not work out. Another thing I think we saw was be highly emotional. Okay, that's a great way to lose. Super sensitive. Okay, take everything personally. Think everyone's after you. Okay, hey, just a chat guideline. This is how we do things. No big deal. We're just telling you. Chill out. But these are moves. Okay, be uncoachable. Okay, call off work. Sam, thank you. Okay, be tired and lazy. Don't follow guidelines. Okay, this is how we do things. Okay, we gotta get pictures. I want to get pictures. We have our guidelines. We have the way we do things here. Okay, and just negative attitude. Okay, I don't like this. I don't like that. Okay, it's okay, well, this is a great way to get fired and not win at work. So what to do? Okay, let's just flip that. Okay, highly emotional, emotionally stable. Okay, we have ups and downs in this business. People say stuff. This happens. Someone wants this. Customers that. This and that, just be emotionally stable. That's the move to win in this business. Okay. Be highly coachable. Just flip that exactly opposite. Hey, we got this new carrier. Hey, this is how you do things. We're going to have to adjust this way. We got to do things this way. Be highly coachable. That's the move. Call off work to always at work. That's pretty easy. Okay, but that is a move that will, bad things will happen. So do the opposite of that. Be tired to being energized and prepared. On time, ready to go, having energy. How you doing? Like, I'm ready to go. You know, that type of energy. Don't follow guidelines to follow guidelines. Getting pictures in, you know, doing things the right way. Following up is part of the guidelines. Asking for referrals. These are guidelines too. We have coaching, and then we just following them is a good move to win in the business. And then obviously negative attitude to a positive attitude. So sometimes you're like, I don't know how to win. I don't know how to win in this business. It's like, well, you already know how to lose. So just do the opposite of that and you'll know how to win. All right? How to blow up your agency. When I think about this, like you guys were just thinking about like what's the move for you guys, I think about the same thing. So what I do is I think, how do I go out of business as soon as possible? Because I want to do the opposite of that, right? So what would you guys think what not to do for a business owner? Spend unnecessary money, yep, thank you.
Unnecessary employees.
Yep. That's something that I'm learning and I gotta get better at maybe, okay? But stop advertising maybe is one of them. Okay, if I said I gotta spend money more carefully, maybe you could say, but some business owners are like, okay, you know what, I gotta cut costs, and I definitely do, but I'll stop advertising now. Okay, that would mean the phones won't ring, the agents won't be making money, customer service wouldn't have anything to do, so that's a move that I wouldn't want to do. Okay, don't motivate or train team. Okay, don't try to tell you guys that I believe in you guys, or don't train when things come up. So that's probably a good move to go out of business. You know, have everybody lethargic, not motivated. Bad incentive system, that's kind of what Janelle was talking about too, like not spending money the right way. So, you know, compensating or rewarding activity that's not that great up to standards, or yeah, spending money on staff members that aren't bringing anything back. And then not caring. Okay, not caring about you guys, not caring about our customers. I think businesses go out of business all the time because the team doesn't care about the customers. So these are moves, what not to do. So I just flipped that. Okay, I'm going to always advertise. Times are tough right now, but the market is open, so I have to kind of just bite the bullet right now and just keep advertising for you guys so you guys can sell more policies. Because if the clients stay with us, that's going to work out for us. So no matter what the situation is, always advertise, always motivate and train team. That's what I'm trying to do with you guys all the time. Good incentive system, okay? That's fair, that makes sense for me and for you guys too. Top producers get rewarded. The average or bottom ones need to step up their game to get compensated the same way. And always care about your team and customers too. So always caring about you guys, how you guys are thinking, and then taking care of our customers. So again, I have a lot of things. I have a lot of options of what activities I want to do, but I thought about, okay, what can I do to really ruin my business? And I'm just doing the opposite of that. All right, so let's find out what not to do to find out what to do to win. So if you already know what to do, and many of us, I feel like we do, why is it that sometimes we don't do it? How would you guys say your motivation level was last month?
Good.
Pretty good? Okay, good. Okay. Everybody's different probably, right? And that's what's crazy about motivation is some person could be so motivated and the other person could be so not. So that's a really interesting topic for me because, again, my job is to motivate you guys as much as possible. So why is it that, okay, let's talk about motivation a little bit, okay? So where does motivation come from? Looking forward to something, yeah, getting excited about something. That's a good way to have motivation, okay? Something that really you want to be like inspires you, okay? Having that vision, that helps out motivation tremendously. Just another one. Where else does motivation come from? Yeah, that's a huge factor. And I'm actually going to talk about that a little bit. So your surroundings, your environment, really, the expectations others have of you, those type of things really make a big difference with motivation. But I'm going to go a little bit dark today, okay, guys? So this is in Hawaii. I wish I would have taken a wide shot, but it's a huge ocean, right? And Derek was saying, hey, wouldn't it be so scary if you were there by yourself without a boat? I was like, yeah, that is scary because I kind of feel that way too because when you see such a big ocean, you feel so small, right? So I want to ask you guys, so if you were out here by yourself, What would you be motivated for?
Survival.
Live.
Survival? To live? Motivated for air, maybe?
Water.
Water?
Like drinking water. You can't drink the ocean. I feel
Survival.
motivated to like.
Well, you probably wouldn't be wanting like, oh, I wish I had a Gatorade right now. Would you want to be like, man, I could really use a steak right now? Okay, you're just motivated to survive at this moment right now, right? So, this is Kyle.
They got their ice cream.
They got their ice cream. Yep.
They won.
But this day, this is the last day, but for lunch we had a huge Thai food place. And then for dinner we had all-you-can-eat Japanese steak. And we were stuffed, so we had to walk around a little bit. And then, but he's like, you promised us the last day. I was like, okay, well, we went here and got a huge, this is 3 scoops here, 2 chocolate mint and 1 cookies and cream. It's huge. And I was like, how can you eat that after like all day of eating? It was crazy how he ate. His stomach got all big. And then at the end there, do you think he was like, boy, I could use another pizza right now? He's full, right? Okay, so motivation comes from deprivation. Does that make sense to you guys? What does deprivation mean?
The lack of something.
The lack of something, yeah. The definition in the dictionary is the lack or denial of something considered to be a necessity. Okay, so when you're hungry, you want to eat. And when you're thirsty, if you haven't drank anything for a whole day, then you're really thirsty on a hot day. And when you haven't slept for like a whole day, then you're going to be super motivated to sleep. So what about when it comes to money though? Okay, because if you use this logic, you would think the poorest people are going to be super motivated to make more money, and successful people are going to be very not motivated. But it's actually the opposite. Like successful people are like always wanting to make more money, and the poor people are not trying to hustle or they're not motivated. So if you already have it, and if you don't start losing it, then you want to have it because you got a taste of it. So that could be deprivation too. Another factor that's kind of different from the other ones is that hunger and sleep and thirstiness, that's physiological. Like your body needs that. Okay, but the lack of money, what is that? That's psychological. Okay, it's just your brain thinking there's a gap right there. So your motivation is proportional to your perceived deprivation. So how much you think you need to have, the gap there. Like, do you think you have enough money or do you think you don't? Okay, so for example here, someone's making 50K right now, and then their goal is 50K, there's no gap. That person's not motivated, they're pretty happy there. Okay, now another person could be making the same amount of money, but their goal is 100,000, there's a $50,000 gap for their annual income. So this person, even though they're making the same amount of money, because their goal is higher, there's a gap there of 50K. Now, some of you guys are already making 100K. Now your goal could be 200K now, so that gap is actually even bigger. So this person is making 100K, this person is making 50K, but since their goal is so different, this person actually has a perceived gap that's bigger and thus more motivated. And on the agency side, I showed this to you guys before, but our goal is to make $10 million. We're at 4. It's a huge gap right now. And that's why I work so hard, because my gap of where I want to become is so big. If I thought, okay, everything is fine, then I wouldn't be hiring. I would be looking out for just the best interest for the profit and loss, and I wouldn't be trying to do all these type of things. So that perceived gap is what creates the motivation. So how can we create that gap? Or what creates that gap, do you guys think? Like Alexa said, maybe the past. Okay, or maybe you earning money before or inspiration. But what other things could create that gap?
Just needs, desires. I would say in that sense where someone has a bigger gap, even though they're making the same money, they just have a bigger picture of their mindsets. They maybe associate themselves with different people who have similar attitudes.
Associate themselves with other people that have similar attitudes. That's really close to what I'm trying to get at, because you know what I think I already talked about this before, but the number one indicator, if a baby's born, what's the number one indicator if they know how much money they'll make?
Your zip code.
Their zip code, where they were born. It's not their gender, okay? It's not, okay, what school they're gonna go to or what IQ or their race. The number one indicator is someone had to predict, like, okay, this person's gonna make about this much money. the best prediction is the zip code where they were born. So that tells you, good job, Jay, remember that. Their environment creates your deprivation. Okay, the standards that you grow up in. So successful people, this is kind of sad, but I'm guilty of this. Not that I'm saying I'm successful, but I tend to compare myself to successful people. Okay, and poor people compare themselves to poor people. So I'll be asking myself, okay, how can you create this gap without comparing yourself to others? Because it kind of sucks, right? You always have to compare yourself to others, and there's always gonna be someone more, happier than you, or wealthier than you, or healthier than you. It's like it doesn't seem like a healthy way to compare yourself and to motivate yourself by always thinking like, oh, someone's better. Like I can never get there. So what would you say is like a healthier way, or a happier way, or more of an encouraging way to compare yourself to someone else to increase your motivational level? How you imagine yourself winning, that belief of yours, that creates that gap. Like where you are now and where you believe what your potential is. So if your potential, you believe you're going to just be here, your motivation is going to be very small. So that's for money, relationship, health, and how big is your gap, okay? Because, if you're here and some of us have a very small gap, your motivation is going to be very small, okay? And then if you're here and then you want to get to here, you believe you're here, then you're very motivated. So the bigger the gap, the bigger your motivation. So I'm gonna end this meeting with pretty much what I say every single meeting, which is believe in yourself more. Okay. Increase the expectation of yourself. Just believe in yourself more. I believe in you guys. That's why you guys are here. And that's why, you guys are on the payroll, because that's how much of I believe that you guys have the potential. So you guys want to increase your expectation of yourself, and that's the key to really motivating yourself and getting the right results. So I just want to let you guys know that you guys can do this. I believe in you. Let's win. Let's get it. All right, thank you guys.